What's going on, everybody? We have an update on Riftbound for Bologna. This is what they're going to be talking about here. We're taking a look at the site, some new news that dropped on 216. It says this weekend brings more than 1.6K players into the main event alongside 1.7K players and creators joining us to dive into side events, try new formats, and connect with the Riftbound community. Whether you're here to compete, create, or jump into the action, Bologna is shaping up to be a weekend to remember. This event marks a major milestone for Riftbound in Europe, and before the first cards hit the table, there are a few important updates to know. So TLDR is there's going to be an improved tournament structure, round timing and turn updates, best of prizing updates, mixed language decks are legal, draft will be live and playable, and Riftbound Spirit Forge product availability. Let's go into it. So what are we going to, people are going to be winning? The regional qualifier right now has this right here. So the champion prize is going to be the Blade of the Ruined King, alt art, and playmat. So this is very unique um, to to the regional. The top 8 is going to get a special promo of the Blade of the Ruined King with the little promo symbol on it. Hopefully, it has that little rainbow foil. We didn't really see that with the Yone cards. And then there's going to be like a sketched model participation promo for Bone Shiver, which I think is pretty cool just for participating in it. So the prizes are going to be first 6,000, second 3,000, 3 to 4th 2,000, 4th to 8th 1,000, 9 to 16th 500, and 17th to 32nd $250. So that's some big prize money there for people to kind of look at, get excited about, and be extra sweaty. Players who finish top 32 will earn a share of the 25,000 prize pool, with 6,000 awarded to first place. More importantly, top performers will secure invitations to an upcoming regional championship, taking the next step towards qualification for the first ever Riftbound World Championship. I think this is one important thing to allow cross card play too, is people will have better knowledge of what these cards say in another language when they see it. So that's cool. Day 2 will feature an updated elimination structure, no longer straight single eliminations, giving competitors more room to fight back, adapt, and prove their skill on the biggest stage yet. So no longer straight single eliminations. People will actually be able to fight. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. I think that Misfortune in the last one got to the top and then got eliminated because they're doing the single eliminations. Which, so it seems like you're going to have like a loser bracket. Maybe. I'll have to look and see. Every match matters. Every decision matters. One well-timed rune recycle of perfectly sequenced unit buff could be the moment that puts you on the road to Worlds. And then here we have a picture of the metal cards from Origins and the Origins box in the background. So it says Best of Legends prizing at Bologna. Best of prizing returns in a big way. Each champion will have one Best of Legend available per regional qualifier, awarded to the highest placing competitor piloting the champion. These Best of Legends are tournament legal, holographic metal versions of your champion's legend card. Yes, they absolutely come with bragging rights and also money rights if you want to sell those. Following Dalian and Fuso, Bologna continues the full set of 28 total Best of Legends spanning Riftbound Origins, Proving Grounds, and Spirit Forged. Earning one takes champion mastery, a deep bracket run, and just enough luck to dodge your worst matchup. For the coverage information, this in the broadcast is heating up as a mix of new and familiar faces join the desk for Bologna. I don't know any of them, so they're all new to me, but we have Amy Wasley, Leonard Koning, James O'Leary, and Aaron Medic Chamberlain. They'll be doing play-by-plays and color casters. The off-color commentary. You can catch the action live starting at 4 a.m. CST, 2 a.m. PST, it's 5 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Great Mountain Time. It'll be on YouTube and Twitch channels. It says reaction speed coverage on Riftbound, on at Riftbound OP. Following on the go, Riftbound OP on X will have coverage throughout the weekend. You can expect match results, bracket updates, player interviews, behind-the-scenes content, deck techs, and it's also your year-round home for Riftbound organized play, covering everything from Nexus Nights and Skirmish Series to regional qualifiers, championships, and worlds. If you're traveling to Bologna, whether it's your first time in the city or you're already hunting down the best tortellini, We've got you covered. Check out our Bologna travel guide for tips and recommendations to help you make the most of your trip. This guide includes parking details, transportation tips, places to visit with expectations, and more. Uh, that's kind of like a huge travel. Can't say I've done big out of the country travels like that. But for those that are going there, have a great time. So this is a big step here. Riftbound product availability, pretty huge. We know access to product matters, and we've made sure Bologna has attendees covered. For this event, we're bringing even more Origins and Spirits Forge products on site, and we'll be implementing reasonable per badge purchase limits to help ensure everyone has a fair shot of getting what they want, no matter when they arrive. Attendees will be able to purchase sealed product, while prize wall tickets can be redeemed for full boxes and packs of both Origins and Spirit Forge. Prize wall plated legends are also returning, giving players another chance to earn these fan favorite collectibles. Beyond the official merch store and prize wall, featured vendors will offer Riftbound singles and wide selection of TCG accessories, making it easy to refine your deck or round out your collection throughout the weekend. So they say, be careful, be precise, and be communicative. There's some tips so you can actually be pretty good. Exhausting cards sloppily on messy board states, moving cards between areas, and not announcing triggers are the majority of the mistakes we have observed in competitive play up to this point. Communication is key, ensuring that players clearly understand what is going on throughout the game solves many issues. Pay costs first and be clear about your targets and decisions. When playing a card, make sure the costs are all paid before resolution of the card. Announcing your costs verbally also helps make explicit what you are doing to your opponent. I'll exhaust 4 runes and recycle a body rune to play Kiana. I think they should have used Showstopper as example, but it was just such a great time. Restopper, as we called it. Maintain a proper place of play. As we said above, we know it is both a young game and nascent competitive scene, meaning that many players are still learning the rules and also may not have experience playing at competitive Riftbound events. As such, there will be some leeway here for the qualifier in Houston, but players must act in a reasonable time. I think we're going to Vegas next, right? If you feel your opponent is not maintaining the proper pace of play, then call a judge. Call a judge and be understanding if your opponent calls a judge. Judges are here to help the event run smoothly. If something has gone awry in a game, then the best thing to do is to immediately stop playing and call a judge to check it out. So they have some frequently asked questions, just kind of like about game rules and tournament rules. Making sure your sleeves are tournament legal, your deck is properly randomized, and don't forget to shuffle your opponent's deck. Don't hesitate to call a judge. You will not be penalized for calling a judge. They're just there to help. So what causes a chain? A chain occurs when a player uses an activated ability, triggers an ability, or plays a spell. An opponent can use reactions to react to things on the chain before they resolve. When a player plays a unit, it does not create a reaction window on its own. If playing a unit triggers an ability of itself or another card, that ability will cause a chain that can be reacted to. So a good example here is when you play this is something that a lot of people skip or miss. So like this says, Bryn says, when I play, opponents cannot play cards this turn. So that is a trigger that's on play that you can react to. Or like Fizz says, when you play me, you may play a spell from your trash with energy cost no more than 3. So the when you play me win part, you'll be able to activate the trigger on that before that. But you can't remove the unit, I believe. Well, when can I play a spell or ability? So reaction can be played anytime. Actions can be used to react to things, but they can be played during your turn or during any showdown when you have focus and nothing else is on the chain. To be clear, reactions have anytime you have priority on your turn or the opponent's turn, even in reaction to another spell or ability that's on the chain. Spells or abilities that do not have action or reaction can only be played on your turn when there's nothing else going on. They can be used during a showdown or if anything is on the chain. So when are you the attacker and when are you the defender? This comes up a lot because people do like fight or flight and jump in. So you are the attacker when a unit you control moves to contest a battlefield an opponent controls. You are the defender when a unit you don't control moves to contest a battlefield you control. A unit you control moving to an open battlefield does not make you an attacker, and so it does not cause attack triggers to happen. If a unit you control moves to an open battlefield and an opponent uses a card like Ride the Wind to bring a unit they control to that battlefield, A new combat will start after the open showdown will end. And this new combat, you'll be the attacker and the opponent will be the defender. And any attack defense triggers will happen when that combat starts. The player whose unit first contests the battlefield is always the attacker in surprise defense situations like this one. So what constitutes winning combat? Because, we have Draven, talks about when you win a combat, draw a card or you get a point. So when combat resolves, the player who has at least one unit remaining at the battlefield wins that combat. This includes situations where spells such as Fight or Flight, Rebuke, or Hextech Ray are used during combat to remove opposing units. Importantly, if both players still have units at the battlefield when combat ends, the combat is considered a tie. This can occur with stun effects even if one player's units will be recalled afterwards. Can I score on my opponent's turn? Yes, you can use cards like Ride the Wind to conquer a battlefield and score on an opponent's turn. How do I score the winning point? Like other points, you can score the winning point by holding a battlefield or through extra point abilities on cards like Tryndamere Barbarian. People don't like Tryndamere. They want to get rid of him because of that. When he attacks and does 5 or more excess damage, you get a point. They will fight to make sure you don't get that point. So to win through conquering, you got to have scored one battlefield this turn that you're playing, and then score the other point. So if you're holding one at the beginning and then you score the other battlefield, or if you have none, you have to score both battlefields. What is the start of the game procedure? For the first game in a match, you must present your decks as you originally registered them. You can change the sideboard cards. You must present your champion legend, chosen champion that you registered. For games where sideboarding is permitted, players may exchange their chosen champion for another champion that matches the legend. Each game in a match, each player must submit one of their 3 battlefields face down and then reveal them at the same time. You can't submit the same battlefield twice. And for the first game, once Legends chosen champions battlefields have been revealed, players use a random method like rolling a dice to determine who chooses to go first or second. So you choose who goes first or second after battlefields are revealed. For later games, a player who lost the previous game chooses whether they want to go first or second once the above information is revealed. Players should begin the start of the game procedure as soon as they reach their assigned seats, even if the round clock has not yet begun. So I want to say, as far as like if you're building decks and stuff like that, you want to kind of decide if you're building a deck that is meant to go first or second, or if you're playing on the battlefield where you want to go first or second on. And then that'll make, I think, the biggest decision in your choices. Like if you're playing Volibear, you might want to always go second. But if you're playing Lucian, there might be times we want to go second and times we want to go first. So watch that. What happens if time runs out and the match is not complete? So they did make some changes here to where if the time ran out, you'll enter the end of match procedure. If you're in between games, you don't start a new game. The completed games are the only games played. If you are in the middle of a game, you finish the current player's turn and then play 3 total additional turns between both players. So the turn players who it is will start at 0, and then it goes, there would be 0, you would be 1, they'd be 2, you'd be 3. And then at the end of these, if a player is ahead by 2 or more points, they win that game. Otherwise, the game is a draw. After finishing the end of match procedure, the winner of the match is the player who has the most game wins. If the game is tied at this point, the match is a draw. If a player plays Time Warp to take an extra turn during the end of the match procedure, it does not add an additional turn towards the conclusion of the turn tracker. However, it does count as one of the 3 additional turns. So you just lose if you are on, if you're going to be 2 and they're like 1, if they play Time Warp, then they'll be like 1 and 2, and then you'll just be turn 3. That's how that works. Can I intentionally draw a game? Yes, players must mutually agree to an intentional draw, but offering any form of bribe or incentive to influence that decision is strictly prohibited. So you can't be like, all right, man, let's draw this game, and then we'll split the prize money. Negative. So we're incredibly excited to see how the competition unfolds in Bologna and to find out who lifts the trophy and which players earn their plated legends. Dibs on Timo. Sorry, Gorica. Bologna is one step in a rapidly evolving Riftbound competitive season. Following every moment live on stream and through Riftbound OP throughout the weekend, organized play continues soon after the regional qualifiers in Las Vegas. As the meta shifts and new regions come online, Riftbound continues to grow alongside its community. We can't wait to see what you've built and how players adapt as the competitive landscapes evolve. There'll be many writers and UBS staff on site at Bologna. So come say hi, share feedback, and talk. Maybe you'll get one of those cool buff cards that they have for people that are cool in the community. And that is all for the information that we have on this upcoming tournament. I'm sure we have some more news coming soon, as we also have Vegas like right after, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, that's Bologna coming up really soon. I don't even know what the date is on that. Yeah, it's February 20th. So this weekend, the 20th to the 22nd. And then next weekend is Vegas. Man, the tournament organizers, the staff at Riot are going to be flying all over the place. That is crazy. They get like 2 weeks and then boop, boop. Lily in Atlanta, then 2 weeks and boop, boop. That's crazy. All right. Thanks for watching this one, guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rich. Subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about Riftbound and my other game that I enjoy, Union Arena. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching this one. Peace.